Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Tyler Stratton from Stratton Sports, hunkered down here during the pandemic. Just a crazy, crazy time to be alive. And first and foremost, I got to give a shout out to the nurses, to the doctors, people working in the hospitals. Just unbelievable what they're doing. You know, right now we take it for granted. I know just even saying this isn't enough, but I want to send a special thank you to all those in the fields, the essential fields, who are putting their really lives on the line, you know, coming in contact with this virus every day. Special thank you. You are the true heroes. You know, I never thought I would see the day where there's no sports. I'm kind of going crazy because all we have is NFL free agency. But I will remember, folks, March 11th, the day Rudy Gobert tested positive, kind of like I'll remember 9/11, where I was that day. And that essentially shut the sports world down. NBA shut down after that. Just an unbelievable time to be alive. And what effect does this have on the sports world? We're going to break that down now and more. Folks, this is Stratton Sports. You know, sports are very polarizing for us Americans. It's something that we kind of come together and it unites us. You remember September 11th, the sports world, baseball shut down for 4 or 5 days, or maybe it was a week. Sports was put on hold. And then it's the thing that kind of brought us back together. Athletes running out with the American flag. George Bush throwing out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium, throwing a strike. You know, Mike Piazza coming out and hitting a home run in New York.
Lopez wants it away.
And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2.
Sports brought us back together. It united us. It's our escape. You know, you're having a crappy day at work. It's a long shift. You just had terrible productivity. But you have that game at 9 o'clock to look forward to for 2 hours where you can kind of push everything aside, all the bullcrap, and watch your team play and just cheer and smile there for a couple hours. And March 11th, in my opinion, is a day that will be talked about forever in the sports world. 30 for 30s, documentaries, books written. When Rudy Gobert tested positive for the coronavirus, that changed everything, because games were going to go on and played without fans. March Madness was going to play without fans. High school tournaments without fans. Once a player tested positive and shown it could get the athletes too, that had a domino effect. I'll never forget that night. So what does it mean for these sports? You know, the NBA, NFL, MLB. What does it mean going forward for these leagues, and when can they get back to playing and have some normalcy within the leagues? Starting with the NBA, who was also the first league to kind of shut its doors due to this pandemic, I think you've been hearing a June return for the league. I just don't see a scenario where they do bring it back in May. You know, this pandemic has different legs. It changes literally hour to hour. So this is all speculation. But I do see a maybe early June return for the league, which would mean two things. One, the regular season is scrapped. If you're in right now, you're in when the playoffs start in June. And then number two, you're going to have to shorten the playoff rounds. Maybe instead of a best of 7 first round, you do a best of 3. You know, less days off in between games. You're going to have to shorten them because teams that will be hosting playoff games have other events going on in July. I mean, there's just no way you could extend the regular season. It would create a logistics nightmare. Scrap the regular season and shorten the playoff rounds, in my opinion, because I don't see this league getting back underway in May. Now, when it comes to the fan aspect, I have absolutely zero clue. Are they going to do a limited capacity where you have to set 6 feet apart? Are they going to play the NBA without fans for the rest of the year? I have no idea, because this thing changes from month to month. But one thing will be seen. It's going to be very interesting to see how the NBA handles this going forward. I think the NFL is the league least affected by this, obviously, because the way their calendar is set up. You know, NFL free agency was the one thing where people kind of flocked to because we had no sports. It was our one escape because sports had absolutely shut down. So we got to see, you know, the whole Tom Brady hoopla and all that. And I think the NFL draft can be held with no fans. You look at the history of the NFL draft, it used to be held in a ballroom with no fans. Just go back to that. The draft can go on as planned. We can watch it on TV. No need to have fans, especially when the draft is pretty much much in 1 month. In late April, this thing's still going to be going strong. So I think the NFL is going to start its regular season on time. The question I have with all these leagues is, do they bring the fans back on time? It'll be interesting to see what the fan outlook is when the NFL starts its season early September, which I do think they will start on time. As it pertains to Major League Baseball, I've been reading, June 1st to August 1st, somewhere in between for the return of the season. But I think one thing is set in stone: a shortened Major League Baseball season. There's just no way you could replay the games that have already been missed. That would extend the season into the cold weather months, which you simply cannot do. Whether that be a 56-game regular season, whether that be a 108-game regular season, that remains to be seen because this thing changes from day to day. Baseball does have the advantage of being outdoors. Baseball players are far apart from each other for the most part. Now the fans, I think if you do decide to bring fans back, it's going to have to be in a limited capacity. You can only sell so many tickets to the game. There's no way you can have a full packed stadium. June's not that far away. July's not going to be not that far away. So I think you either have to play baseball in front of no fans at all, or you're going to have to do a very limited capacity. Who knows where we're going to be by mid-July, mid-June, whenever baseball decides to come back. Lastly, when you look at college sports, it's really sad, especially with the March Madness and other sports that got called earlier, seniors who did not get to finish their season. You had teams like Dayton, San Diego State, Rutgers, who never have seasons like they're having get cut short by this thing. Coach K kind of came out and spoke about extending eligibility for seniors this year to next year. I just don't see there's any way you could do that. It messes up with the numbers game. The only way the NCAA could do that possibly is expanding the roster size. How many? Who knows? You have incoming freshmen coming in. You have your scholarship grid. It just messes everything up. And unfortunately, there's no way, in my personal opinion, that you could make the numbers work. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this video. What's your opinion on how the sports league should handle this going forward? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you've yet to do so. Everyone, stay safe. Shout out again to all the doctors and all the essential employees on the front line risking their lives on the daily. You are the absolute true heroes in this whole thing. I salute you. Keep doing good work. And folks, I'll be back to talk much more sports in the next few days. So long.